everyone, it is your boy Winster. I am back at it again with another deck profile for you today. Today I am bringing something that I have been working on for quite some time, something that's very near and dear to me. Ever since the banning of Verte Anaconda, TBH, it hasn't been the same. But before we get into the deck profile, guys, please make sure that you guys drop the subscribe and make sure that you turn on the notifications. Help me out with that algorithm. And if you have at least seen one or two more of my other videos, I think by now I deserve that subscription. So do yourself a solid and get some great content on your feed. Also, I do stream and I do have a Discord, so if you guys want to check any of that out, it's going to be in the description box down below. My TikTok, Twitch, and Discord. If you guys want to check out any other of my social media content, please be sure to do so. With that being said, let's jump right into the deck profile. This is a project that I have been working for quite some time, honestly, in the background, of course. But we're going to be working with Cyberdragon Sprite Bestial. When I was putting this together, I was thinking of those memories that I had of Verte Anaconda before the banding. And I know that I said early on things haven't been the same, but in all honesty, this deck really has a hard time dealing without Verte. Verte give you access to the Omnigate being Dragoon and being able to consistently set up a threatening board. And even with the DPE stuff, Verte just really helped this deck out so much. But since it's gone, I try to think of ways to really turbo out the deck to get Cyberdragon Infinity. So that's essentially what I did. I try to make it as consistent as I can. Every hand gets you full Sprite and full Cyberdragon combo. I'm going to go ahead and show you the ratios of everything. Let me know if you guys want to see a test hand or a combo videos. I do have some pretty crazy combos with this deck. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys would love to see that, because I am thinking about putting that video together. But let's get right into it, guys. Going through our monsters first, we're going to do the Cyberdragons. We play triple copies of Cyberdragon Core. You need to see this card every single hand. It's pretty vital to the combo. This is going to get you the essential combo pieces that you need. And also, if you don't have the greatest hand, could also get you disruption like Cybernetic Overflow, so you could have something to mess up your opponent on their turn. The one bad thing about it is the mandatory effect. Unlike the other Cyberdragons, I don't know who designed it, but it's a mandatory when summon, you search. And I wish sometimes that wasn't the case, because I wish I could just, contact fuse without activating the effect or triggering anything on your opponent. We play triple copies of Cyberdragon Hers. Cyberdragon Hers is pretty vital to the combo in order to extend the way that you need to. He has two effects. His first effect you're not going to really activate so much, but when he's special, he becomes a level 5, or you can at least. When you do that, it does lock you into machines for the turn. His other effect is where you're going to be using the most. When he's sent to the grave, you're going to go ahead and search Cyber Dragon from your deck. So pretty important to the combo. So when I was building this deck, I wanted to get it to as close as 40 as I could. I needed to cut some cards out, some clog, if you will. So I played 2 Cyber Dragons. I don't play 3. You usually see 3 in any kind of build. But the third one doesn't really come in clutch. I want to have the most impactful cards in my deck that's going to change the stride of the match in my favor if I'm losing. Having a third one doesn't really do much, and usually it's just going to be a dead draw. This is an instant where I increased the deck count just by a little bit. This is a ratio I used to play 2 of, but I played 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, Honorary Cyberdragon, Light Machine, level 5. This is going to get you to your Noble plays, and by that, it's going to get you to your Infinity plays. Worst case scenario, if you draw multiples of this card, you just discard 1. Also, considering that today's format is just Tearlam and Shizu, you don't want to get this card milled, so playing 3, in my personal opinion, is pretty optimal right now. When I was building Cyberdragon, I try to think of ways that it's going to be super consistent for the deck to remain competitive in today's format. And sprites came to mind. They special off of level 2s, and what is core? A level 2 monster. So it works perfect in tangent with the combo starter of Cyberdragon. So it's going to be a very standard Sprite engine. Triple copies of Sprite Blue. If you don't know by now, this guy just searches another Sprite monster. And he could be specialed if you control a level 2 monster. 3 copies of Sprite Jet. He is the searcher of the archetype. When he's specialed, you're going to go ahead and search any Sprite spell or trap from the deck. And the one ofs, I play one Sprite Carrot. Specials, if you control a level 2, you could send off a level 2 to negate any kind of spell or trap. And I play one Sprite Red. Same thing, special off a level 2 monster you control. And then this guy just negates monster's effect. Now, when I was thinking about what kind of hand traps I want to run, I wanted to run the most optimal. But in all honesty, guys, one Ash is not going to do enough in today's tier 0 format, as they call it. Tier Shizu is just too fucking strong. So I'm going to be still playing the Bestial cards. These cards are fucking phenomenal. But my ratios are triple copies of Magnum Hut. When this card is specialed, at the end phase, you get to search any dragon. Right, so that card just kind of fits in anything. And it becomes a quick effect when your opponent has a monster. Or you could go ahead on your turn, you could target any light or dark monster in the grave, banish it, and then get a free body. So it's a DD Crow that gives you a body. And I play triple copies of Duraswarm. Duraswarm, phenomenal card. Same thing as Magnum Hut in summoning requirements. But when this card is sent from the field to the grave, you target one special summon monster your opponent controls and, destroy it. So that's going to be it for the monsters. We're going to jump into the spells and traps. I'm going to go ahead and get into the Cyber Dragon support cards. But I wanted to make one thing clear, guys. When I was making this, I wanted to make the Cyber Dragons as consistent as possible. In all honesty, I do feel like I did make it as consistent as I can. There's still small rooms for improvements or for slight changes in terms of ratios. But this ratio is going to be very different from what you typically see when it comes to Cyber Dragons. But trust me, it works. I play triple copies of Cyber Emergency. This card is the Searcher. If you don't have Core, you have this. So in terms, just 3 more copies of Core or whatever Cyber Dragon that you need. Again, it has another effect that people seem to forget. If the activation of this card is negated, you discard a card. And considering that the activation of this card was negated, if you add it back to your hand, you could activate it again. So please be careful. Do not negate the activation. If you ash this, the effect wouldn't work of adding it back because the activation wasn't negated, the effect was. So, a little small ruling there. I played 3 copies of Clockwork Knight. Man, let me tell you how good this card is, man. Right off the bat, it makes everything machines on the field, so ready to contact fuse. It makes all your opponent's machine monsters lose 500 attack and 500 defense. It makes all your machines gain 500 attack and 500 defense. So right off the bat, there's a difference in 1,000 attack points, right, between your monsters now. Also, it makes everything machine, so this literally contacts fuse. Funny story, guys. I went to a local where I was playtesting this deck, and my opponent was playing Brandon Despia. He set up an insane board. He set up Masquerade ×2, Mirror Jade, and like Branded in Red, and another back row card I couldn't remember. But the thing is, he had an insane board. So I special summoned Cyber Dragon regular, and then I activated this. And he didn't really understand what I was going for. So I think it was just on his part, just not knowing what exactly to do. But I contact fused his whole board. And I went for Chimera Tech, and that shit was like a 4K. So what ended up happening later on in my turn, because that was like my first move, he branded in red, and then went into Guardian Chimera, and then he went to another. I think he went to Mirror Jade again, and then he just destroyed my Cyber Dragon, and for some reason he didn't destroy my back row. So I normal summon Core and it got the effect. I contact use his board again. It was just so funny, man. I was dying when that ended up happening. But again, phenomenal card. It is the best feeling when you contact fuse your opponent's board. And then I play one Cyber Repair Plant. This card is very crucial to the combo. You are usually going to search this with Core's effect. And then use this to search Galaxy Soldier. I play one Overload Fusion. Now, this card is amazing, don't get me wrong, but this is one of the cards that I'm thinking about taking out. The reason being is because you can't search this card. You could search Cyberload Fusion with Cyber Dragon Core, but you can't search this out, so you're going to have to hard draw this card, and sometimes it might be a dead card depending on where the game state is at. So this is definitely one that I'm considering, not considering, but only time would tell. So I play one Cybernetic Overflow. This is what you're usually going to search off when you don't have the best hand. Still disruption on your opponent's turn, which is still pretty good. If you don't play the Overload Fusion and you do play the Cyberload Fusion, you can end up searching that to have some sort of fusion on your opponent's turn too. We play pretty standard 3 copies of starter. It's going to search the card that you need in order to continue to play or set up a board where you have some sort of disruption on your opponent's turn. You're going to need this card 3 of. Makes the deck a lot more consistent. You play 1 Smashers. Having some sort of out to, those floodgate cards, or just having some sort of disruption on your opponent's turn is pretty convenient. So I would always play this at 1. It's a pretty good card. We play 3 copies of Pride of Prosperity. This card is phenomenal. I love seeing it. It sucks when you use this and then go into and you see other pots as your reveals, but this card helps out this deck phenomenally because Cyber Dragons are already suffered a lot in terms of consistency in the cards that you want to see, but this is going to bump it up even a notch. And not only that, that could potentially get you the right sprite cards that you need, because sometimes the sprite engine can falter here and there, but having this card is going to help that consistency for both engines. Jumping right into the extra deck, we're going to get started with the link cards. We play 1 Almirage. A lot of the time, you just need Cyber Dragon in the grave to activate Repair Plan, and he's just there to literally get whatever Cyber Dragon you need into the grave. We play 1 IP Masquerena. IP could easily be another elf, in all honesty, but being able to link on your opponent's turn with other disruption cards is pretty helpful, in my honest opinion. We play 1 copy of Sprite Elf. The extra deck is pretty tight when it comes to it, so there's not a lot of space, but you need to at least run 1 Sprite Elf because it's going to give the Sprite decks even more consistency on top of what they already have. 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Pretty good disruption on your opponent's turn, and in all honesty, the main reason why we play the IP Masquerena, so we could disrupt them on their turn. Lastly, for the links, we play 1 Axis Code. This is just for the OTK. Like I said earlier, sprites have a hard time killing because they have such low attack. The Cyber Dragons do help in that regard, but this is just the extra oomph in order to get over some problematic cards. Onto the fusions, we play 1 Mega Fleet. Mega Fleet still comes in clutch because people always forget to be wary of where they place their cards. So a lot of the time, they're going to end up putting their monsters in that extra monster zone, and this is where it comes in clutch. You can cut this card to add a third of another, but I just want to have a little bit extra more just in case. We play 2 Chimeritic Fortress Dragon. This card. I can't even say it, guys. This card is phenomenal now with Clockwork Knight. I used this card twice on my turn. It shows you how consistent some other decks are, and it shows you how consistent this deck is. But having 2 is really good. The third, you can replace the Mega Fleet to play the third, but I think 2 is good enough in all honesty. Lastly, we play 1 Rampage. Again, just for the OTK, you want to be able to kill your opponent. And this is going to enable you to, because this is 63 damage right off the bat, and considering how high some attacks of your other cards are, you're going to go for the kill. Onto the Exceed, we play 1 Gigantic. It's pretty standard, guys. You need this in order to build a more solid board. Wish we could play 2, but there's not enough space in the extra deck, in all honesty. So we play 1 Djinn Buster. Djinn Buster is a monster effect negate, and he's pretty useful, in all honesty. But on top of that, considering the way that the meta is going these days, a lot of games are going to time. Djinn Buster negates a monster effect by detaching 2, but also burns your opponent for 5. So it's going to be pretty good. We play 1 Nova, pretty standard for Cyber Dragons. You're going to use this to go into the next card, which is going to be Cyber Dragon Infinity. He's the Omni Negate. He has another pretty amazing effect. Target 1 attack position monster, and that monster becomes this card's material. So it's pretty good because he always needs a material to. He could always use some extra material because his effect detaches a material to Omni Negate anything. So pretty good. Last card from the extra deck, we play 1 Zeus. You still have the options for Zeus plays. You're going to go into 2 level 5 light machine monsters that go into Nova. Nova, you're going to go into Infinity. And then from Infinity, you could absorb a monster and then swing and then go into this. So you have literally a 4 plus material Zeus. And you're going to be able to board wipe twice. Onto the side deck, like I said, I wanted the most impactful cards. That's what I'm always thinking about when I'm building these decks. But we're going to go through our going first cards. We play triple copies of D-Barrier. You already know, guys, if you guys play this game on a competitive level or somewhat competitive, you know how it is. You're going to negate fusions because it's just too strong right now with Tearlament. We play 3 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance. This card is very impactful going first. If you build up a decent board and then set one of these, man, it's going to be GG's depending on the deck. Last time I went to locals, I set up full Infinity combo, full Sprite combo, ended up with Gin Buster, Red and Carrot and Infinity, and then set this bad boy. My man literally just said, yeah, let's go to the next game. It was just too hard as I activated in the draw phase. Our going second cards are Lightning Storm, 3 copies. You want to see this card, you could switch the ratio a bit. You could do 1 Lightning Storm, 2 Cosmic, or 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Cosmic, but having some sort of back row removal is pretty significant in today's meta, and I would definitely not leave home without it. We also play 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More. It's so crazy, guys. This card is so good, man. Yeah, it sucks you can't kill, but if you completely board wipe your opponent and set up a board where it's just so hard for them to come back, this card is going to come in so clutch. It's crazy. I built a deck profile last time, and I didn't even have this in the side. When I went to locals with Cyber Dragon Bestial, I got fucking mollywop, guys. And I'm like, man, why didn't I play any kind of form negation, any kind of field negation? And here we are. They do say hindsight is 2020. Lastly, from my side deck, we play triple copies of Evenly Matched. What more is there to say about this card? This card is fucking good, man. It just board wipes your opponent. You go Dark Ruler No More into battle phase, and then you drop Evenly Matched. Oh, so fucking good. That is it for today's deck profile. I was pretty excited putting this together, guys. I can't begin to explain how excited I am that I finally found some sort of deck that works with Cyber Dragons and lets them shine in that same token, because I don't want to be a deck profile play like 1 Cyber Dragon and Clockwork Knight and then Contact Fuse, and that would be my main goal. I want to make them shine just as much as any other kind of engine that I run with them. So that's why I'm super happy about it. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, guys. Keep in mind there are still some cards that I might consider running, the Cyberload Fusion, Nashter. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. How do you guys feel about this deck profile? Do you guys feel it's less consistent, more consistent? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will check you guys out later. My name is Winster, and you guys have a wonderful day.